I gotta hold down the city. Gotta let you know where I come from. I gotta hold down the city.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith. The fans are filling the seats out in Boston, the site of our broadcast, and where the Celtics will be going up against the Chicago Bulls. For Chicago, this is a team they played pretty well against last season, going 3-1. They'll look to keep that edge tonight. And as we reach the midway point, Kenny, still a lot of games left on the schedule. How do players cope with the wear and tear their bodies go through?
Well, a lot of times when you're mentally or physically tired, you know, you could sit there and all of a sudden you misquote things, you missay things here on the analyst desk. On the basketball court, that's turnovers, that's missing assignments.
2K Sports checks in with their loyal viewers with a broadcast from Boston, the home of the Celtics. Looking at Boston, they took a win in their last game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Trading blows in that one, they did win by 3.
You know what, though? Not only did they get to the free throw line a lot, but they converted at a high clip.
Old school basketball here. Hard-nosed, fundamental, just solid old school performance right there.
Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Butler and Snell are the wingmen. At the 4, it's Gasol with Noah at the 5. And it's Rose in at the point.
Derrick Rose possesses a great skill set, ball handling, passing, and understanding of how to score. First rookie to ever win the All-Star Weekend Skills Challenge.
Boston on D. To the middle. Here's Snell. Yes. And it's Rose with the assist that time. Snell's got his first points of the game. So it's Boston now. Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Fred Hoiberg. What'd you find out, DB?
Kevin, we talked at length about how they plan to contain this excellent offensive ball club. He said, you know, our opponent changes, but our principles stay relatively constant. It's all about denying the high percentage shots, the layups, free throws, and open three-pointers. If they're hitting contested jump shots, you just have to tip your hat to them. Kevin, a sound strategy.
All right, Doris, they're probably well aware of the firepower they're up against here.
You know, it sounds like it. I mean, their coach knows how tough it is to slow this team down, and he wants to make sure his guys understand that as well.
Yeah, I guarantee he got his point across when prepping them for this one. He focused clearly on their absolute toughest effort defensively.
Here's Thomas. After the made shot from Joakim Noah, Thomas goes in. This is to Sullinger. Gasol with the steal. Here's Snell. Plays it up and in on the nice reverse.
You know, you're going to have success when you can start out shooting 80% from the game. So early offensively, they've been great. That's the way you like to score.
Oh, no. Bad time to slip up there, Kevin. They got to stay focused.
What are you doing? And taking a technical there is the last thing you want to do. The opposite of smart basketball.
And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Bulls.
They pounded the ball inside.
How the first one I
forcing the D to collapse, and that frees up the shooters going forward.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is their passing. I mean, doing a nice job. Plenty of their points early on coming off assists.
Here's Thomas. Jimmy Butler with the rebound.
Boy, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
He feeds it to Rose. Back to Butler. Takes the three. Yes. And it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got his third assist on the night. For Boston, they've gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. Thomas against Rose. Here's Olynyk. And foul hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
And the thing with Kelly Olynyk, he does some stuff that really helps you, and some also that will hurt. I mean, he's highly skilled. He's got the deep range, textbook positioning in terms of the post. A lot of tricky moves down there. Yet he has a hard time being effective against great athletes, which the NBA is filled with. So he's going to have to evolve as a basketball player if he wants to be effective.
That one misses. Well, back to Kelly Olynyk as a coach, you have to identify the matchup where he can be effective because Clark is explosive one-on-one guys. They'll take advantage of it.
He's effective. He can help. He makes 35% of his threes, has done that for the last 2 years. And I think he gives you some toughness and rebounding as well. I like him as a second unit player.
Gasol screen. From past the arc. Another shot, and it's finished off by Noah as he lays it in. Noah's got 6.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Quality looks they're getting, and they're capitalizing on them, guys. They have to be happy.
Come on,
Let's start offensively.
And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. Gasol against Zellinger. Gasol, this is the Rose. Takes it off the box.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Thomas against Rose. Thomas kicks to Olynyk. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That's on Joakim Noah. For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with GM and president.
Taj Gibson in for Noah. And so Olynyk nails both of them.
And with Thibs, he did end up getting fired from the Bulls this past season. Some saw it coming, but still, I think surprising given the level of success he had. His imprint is all over this Bulls team in the way they approach the game.
And it's Gasol penetrating and good on the basket. Book it.
That's leadership. Really, really valuable to have someone who can just take charge like he has.
Well, there's a certain amount of confidence you have when the ball is in his hands at that end of the floor right now. I mean, he just gives you a sense of calm and confidence because of how good he is. And when you look at how Thibs got fired, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why a coach can be let go. I mean, he didn't have any performance issues, but apparently clashed in some form or fashion with the front office. Sometimes that's all it takes to be asked to go somewhere else.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. The Boston Celtics figured to be near the bottom of the league last year. In many ways, they outperformed a lot of people's expectations.
And by no means were they a contender at any point, but they very well could be ahead of themselves in terms of the rebuilding process.
Thomas with the ball. He had a 15-point outing last game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Pass to Mickey. Back to Thomas. Here's Mickey. Clock at 6. Bradley kicks to Zellinger. Butler with the steal. They get a hand on it. And again, it's Pau Gasol.
And with the Celtics being a surprise threat near the end of last season, even their losses were close games.
There's a screen. Here's Bradley. Shot is no good. And it's Chicago the other way. Last game matchup with the Suns, a tough loss there.
Yeah, and that was a night where they just didn't seem to be the type of team that we've grown accustomed to seeing. I mean, it was more about them being individuals on the floor than the collective unit.
Guys, I think it was simply a vacuum of leadership. Nobody really gathered the team and tried to rally them or pull them together. You know, that was most disappointing about the loss to me. back up your point about the Celtics being in close games. I mean, their point differential on the year was less than where you would expect it to be for a team that made the playoffs. I mean, it really gives you an idea of how many close games they played.
And pushing it up, here's Boston. And here's Rose. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Phoenix.
And also defensively, guys, he kept them off balance with 4 steals on the night.
Celtics trail by 14. Here's Thomas. In the corner, Bradley with it. Shot to stop the run. Boston again missing.
Outstanding perimeter defense there. That was a well-contested shot.
Yeah, and you know he takes a lot of pride in his defense. There are no easy threes if he's on you.
The Celtics have gotten just 3 of their first 9 shots to go down in this game. Thomas kicks to Olynyk. Back to Thomas. He dishes it to Sullinger. And that one's good.
And can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
The Bulls leading by 14. Butler on the way. With Samar. Mickey grabs the board. The Celtics have gone 4-10 shooting the ball here in the first quarter. Bradley passes to Sullinger. Back to Bradley. Olynyk inside, defended by Butler. Olynyk can't hit. Chicago's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Snell gets to Rose. That's tipped. And pushing it up, here's Boston. Here's Mickey. The dish to Bradley. The pass to Olynyk. From deep, Thomas. It's good. It's his second basket. He's shooting 2 for 4.
And guys, we've seen teams hire college coaches with no NBA experience before. It hasn't always worked out, but for Boston, they have to be very pleased with Brad Stevens.
Bulls always seem to be tough on the road, and last season no different. They would end with 23 road wins on the year.
And that number was good enough for the second most in the East. Unlike shooting, it's very hard for defenses to go cold, and that's why the Bulls have been so good on the road.
So both teams changing it up here.
Chicago with the ball. 11-point game. The shot by Butler. Nobody around.
Makes no mistake on the open jump shot. Butler's got 8.
And guys, touching back on the Bulls on the road to illustrate how good they are on the road. Last season marked the 5th straight year of a road record above 500. Incredible consistency as a franchise.
A nice shot by Zeller.
Really good awareness right there on the assist.
The Bulls leading by 11. Brooks kicks to Butler. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Yeah, you know, here's another stat for the Bulls on the road. Since 2010, when Tom Thibodeau took over, the Bulls have won almost 60% of their road games. That's impressive. You know, Jimmy Butler is one of those guys who had to overcome major odds just to get to the NBA. Reportedly, his father abandoned the family when Jimmy was an infant. Mom kicked Jimmy out when he was 13. The obstacles and adversity go on, yet he's made it and made it big.
And he's good on the second. And going back to Jimmy Butler, there were just so many times when he was set up to fail. He was not heavily recruited out of high school. He was even homeless when he was in high school in the Houston area. Went to a junior college, then Marquette, now in the NBA. So he played his freshman year at a junior college, which I think humbled him just a bit, but maybe gave him that work ethic that is so much a great part of his game now.
And Kevin, the talent was there, and most of all, as we see how he dealt with adversity, the heart was there. He blocked out the distractions, finally transferred to a major college, and worked his way into becoming a first-round pick.
Thomas dishes to Brown. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Thomas got 3 assists now in this one.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they like.
Brooks with no one around. Here's Anthony. And this group gives us a second look at the shooting guards leading their position in steals over the last 10 games. Third is Jimmy Butler. And, of course, Avery Bradley.
And this is a very intense group. I mean, those steals don't come by accident. I mean, they've gotten them through the effort, and they're willing to expend that kind of energy on that aspect of the game.
Well, the most active hands in the league, I think, belong to those fellas right there. I mean, that is one pesky bunch of pickpockets.
That's good from Anthony. Morris checked in for Taj Gibson. No good on the second, so it's 1-2. It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
Left in the first quarter.
Thomas against Brooks. Thomas goes in. Here's Crowder.
In building this lead, they've done a terrific job finishing their defensive sequences with the backboard. That has been key.
Yeah, you're right. Not one second chance bucket for the opposition. They're boxing out on every shot.
Mirotic's shot is off.
You know, for the Celtics, the actual playoff series didn't go well. They got swept by the Cavaliers, but most people will remember the injuries from the series more than the play, and the Celtics have a bright future, no doubt. So far on the glass, it hasn't even been close.
Yeah, they're taking it to them. It feels like they've gotten every loose ball.
They haven't been able to stifle them defensively here.
No, to the contrary. They haven't provided much resistance at all. And in this game, you've got to play both ends of the floor.
It's stolen by Anthony. Brooks kicks the butt. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
He couldn't have dreamed of a much better start here than they've had today.
I think the offensive game plan they came in with was right on point. It's worked perfectly, and the lead they already have is proof in the pudding.
There's the triple. But they'll get another chance. And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Bulls lead by 18. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. And the Gasol brothers, both brothers in the All-Star game last season. It's the first time that's happened in NBA history. Powell talked about the joy of sharing the NBA stage with his brother Mark. Well, their story is a bit like a fairy tale, the way two of them, sons of medical professionals in Spain, have become two of the best centers in the NBA of his era.
Yeah, and especially, Kevin, when you remember what a raw talent and how big and bulky Marc Gasol was when he was drafted by the Lakers, who traded him to Memphis for his brother.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And a comfortable margin for the Bulls here, guys.
It's been a point of emphasis, no doubt, to make sure they attack the rim offensively.
I love the fact they're not settling for outside shots. Keep attacking that rack.
So for Chicago right now, at the 4 it's Gasol with Noah at the 5. Brooks is out there with Etuan Moore. And it's Mirotic in at the 3, the small forward. Now here's Smart. He's covered closely. Here's the Repko. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two. They get Paul Gasol.
Well, you know, last season I thought the Celtics made some strong waves in the East. I mean, they kept fighting and fighting all season long, and they ended up in the playoffs because of that never-give-up attitude.
And for the Celtics, 28 of their 40 wins on the season game against the East. Not impressive, but it got the job done in a conference which could be had at times, obviously.
That's true, but what should be noted, Kevin, about the Celtics against the East is just how well they played against the Eastern Conference playoff teams. Right. I mean, against the East top 8, they shot a lot better and executed a lot better as well. So you can see them stepping up their game against the competition.
Outside Rose. Good-looking screen by Gasol. Rose passes to Gasol. No good from 11 feet. Celtics trail by 16. Here's Turner. Outside Brent. Fires the three. That's good. Bradley's got 5 points so far.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly.
Rose gets the bucket.
And really, it looks like he may just try to take this thing over on his own and really build that lead up.
Now Smart. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Inside, knocked away. Here's the break. Here's Snell. And Evan Turner pulls it down.
You know what? His finishing ability, not really at the level that you would expect from a pro, but he's going to have to start playing with more force.
Here's Smart. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
You might not think of him as a laser three-point shooter, but that shot was there for him, and he had to take it.
Here's Moore. And the Bulls get it back. Gasol kicks to Moore. And a miss there on the triple.
A clear look at the hoop. He doesn't miss many of those.
Celtics trail by 12. We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Smart kicks to Jerebko. 6 on the shot clock. 3 on 3. Pass to Noah. Good ball moved by the Bulls. Now here's Smart. He gives a bit of a scoring lift to the team, averaging 8 points a game. He kicks it to Brent. Pass to Jerebko. Feeds it to Smart. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Sullinger. And again, and in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Rose double team. Snell kicks it to Noah. Terrific assist. A nice finish. Solid play all around.
Almost uncontested. I mean, it's nice to be able to add to the lead without having to really work for it.
And you look at Joe Kim Noah, I mean, one of those hybrid talents. As a center, he gives you the rebounding and the shot blocking you want. But then he also has tremendous passing skills and instincts and the energy of a mountain lion.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. And going back to Joakim Noah, he really is a hybrid. He holds American, Swedish, and French citizenships. He's truly a man of the world, and he's worldly on the floor. He can guard and play a lot of different positions.
And Kevin, he looks like a man of the world. He has a unique style unto himself, but I'll take the versatility and the hustle he brings on my team any day. If he's healthy, he's a factor.
Olenek is checked in for Jerebko. Smart dishes to Turner. Now the feed to Smart. Back to Turner. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Noah's got 4 rebounds on this game.
You know, they're not totally dominating the glass, but they're definitely doing enough to keep this lead right where it is.
Yeah, but they've separated themselves, Clark, in a number of categories. Rebounds just being one of them.
And Sullinger kicks to win it, and he bangs it home with one hand.
Tell you what, Kevin, they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
Clark, that deficit will go away quickly if he does.
And how about how he capped that one out? Almost like the 1-2 punch.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
Smart passes to Bradley. 6 on the shot clock. Jacks up a three. It's all in by the Bulls. They led by as many as 18 points. And guys, this is the first they're seeing of Boston.
And looking back to last season, they won this season series as you'd expect.
Yeah, there's a reason they were a playoff team. I mean, they beat the teams they were supposed to. We'll see if they can do it again tonight.
Turner up top. He had 10 points in the win against the Pelicans in New Orleans.
Yeah, but I also thought the rebounding was impressive. He got some huge boards in that game.
Foul call that time on the way up. They'll get the 2 chances at the free throw line here. And how thrilled must have Evan Turner been last season to get a second chance. Clark with the boost in minutes, confidence, the coaching staff. His game almost just changed overnight.
Yeah, he's a guy who needs the basketball. He's such a good, solid playmaker and has excellent size. Never had a chance in Indiana to really handle the ball and play to his strengths because of Paul George and Lance Stevenson, but he found a nice niche in Boston.
Well, you know what he can do after watching him for so many years with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he's terrific. Good basketball IQ, too.
Bulls making a switch here. Butler's checked in.
And boy, did Evan Turner make the most of his second chance last season. Played with more focus, huge minutes for him with the Celtics. He may have found a home.
Rose, good.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
Celtics trail by 14. Outside Turner. It's Bradley on the wing. Back to Turner. Bradley against Butler. And Bradley gets it to go. Bradley's got 7.
You know, it was a career year all around for Tucker last season. Still has work to do on his game, but showed he can contribute to a winning team. Very good value for his contract, too. You can never discount that.
So Boston going with almost an entire new group. Mickey's checked in for Jared Sullinger. Jay Crowder comes in for Evan Turner. Hunter's checked in for Avery Bradley. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Smart. And the Bulls making a change also. Anthony's checked in. Here's Snell. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. And the 3 off target. Boston's gone 2 of 3 when they've stepped beyond the arc in the second quarter. Olynyk with it. Pass to Mickey. Kicks to Olynyk. It's Thomas outside. Chicago grabs the miss. Anthony's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Rose dishes to Anthony. And fouled as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And injuries once again were a central theme of the Bulls' season last year. Losing Rose was one thing, but then having Jimmy Butler lose a lot of time put them in such a tough spot.
And for the Bulls, a lot of teams plan for these type of things. There's only so much Clark can do to mitigate losing your starting backcourt.
But I tell you, great respect and admiration for the Bulls for how they fought through the difficulty. I mean, their front court did what they could. The injuries, once again, I thought turned the Bulls from championship contenders to just a playoff team.
Zeller has checked in for Boston. The Celtics really seemed to get better as last season wore on, too. GA finished the year looking very dangerous.
Kevin, with the Celtics, they were dynamite after the All-Star break. Had the 2nd best record in the Eastern Conference post-All-Star.
Brooks kicks to Gibson. Dishes it to Mirotic. In the corner, Gibson with it. Baseline jumper. That one falls, coming off Anthony's feet. Gibson's got his 2nd bucket tonight.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was. You know, one of the big things for the Celtics after the All-Star break was they played smarter. I mean, they went from the middle of the pack in terms of turnovers to a team that rarely made mistakes.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
Yeah, that's a good point about the Celtics and their turnovers. Last year, after the All-Star break, they were 4th in the league in limiting their mistakes. They played well beyond their years down the stretch.
Celtics trail by 14. And here's Thomas. 6 points for him. Out left to the wing.
Anthony against Zeller. 4 on the clock. Down low. Here's Mickey. Score the basket. Nice shot. Missing his first attempt.
Nice pass. Great catch. Even better finish.
Brooks, the pass to Gibson. And Miritich kicks to Anthony. He feeds it to Butler. He dishes it to Brooks. Shot is good off the three-man in. And the Bulls lead by 14.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Here's Crowder. Buries it from three-point range. Crowder's got 5 now.
They're absolutely stroking it from outside. I mean, textbook perfect. Good balance, nice high release, splash.
Here's Anthony. Zeller grabs the board. Zeller's got his 3rd rebound on the night. To the left side wing. Launches a 3. They grab their own miss. Mickey, the second chance effort, and it's good on the way. Mickey's got it back down to within single digits for the Celtics.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow, just like he got there.
And Anthony gets it to go.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
It's becoming a theme in this game, Clark. They are piling up the points in the paint.
Zeller, a screen on Brooks. Thomas kicks to Crowder. Here's Zeller. Rebounded by Anthony. Anthony's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Brooks dishes to Miritich. Now the pass to Anthony. Back to Miritich. Can't get it to go. Now Boston takes it the other way. Following this one, they get to host the Warriors. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. The dish to Crowder. Cranes it from beyond the arc. Crowder's got a pair of triples in the second now for the Celtics.
The offense has a better flow, and it actually looks better here in the second quarter.
It does. They're playing with a little bit more bounce in their step and trying to close this gap.
Chicago calls timeout.
And no doubt last season the Bulls were clearly preparing for the playoffs. They played their rookies but added a lot of playoff seasoned veterans to that roster.
Boston making a switch here. Sullinger's checked in. Pau Gasol's checked in for Chicago. The Bulls leading by 8.
103 left in the first half of the game. Outside Butler.
Brooks outside.
Here's the screen. 6 on the shot clock.
No good
on the 3.
As you mentioned, the Bulls had leaders last season. Pau Gasol was the notable one. 11 Bulls, Clark, had playoff experience prior to their postseason run a season ago.
And that's invaluable, Kevin, to have that kind of experience. I mean, having Gasol, 2-time champion in the locker room, big, as is having almost a dozen guys who understand the intensity and the details that playoff basketball requires.
Really just a tremendous day for him. And if you remember, he was just as good in their last game.
It's Thomas outside. They get the rebound. Pass to Hunter. Here's the 3. A rebound by Gasol.
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum. Well, he knew how many inches he had over the guy. I mean, let's face it, good decision to just rise up and take the jump shot.
So we've reached the end of the first half of play. It's the Bulls. They lead by 12. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, Pau, tell us what have been the key aspects to how this team is playing so far through the first 2 quarters.
I just had to be aggressive from the beginning, take the shots over there, move the ball, we're being unselfish. We were defending better in the first quarter, and we were able to knock down the shots.
Pau, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. What a start for Jimmy Butler. He ended up with 15 points and 1 steal. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Bulls? Kenny, how'd you think the Celtics were playing?
Can this team please get fired up on defense? I mean, get angry, get upset. Guys are way too soft and giving up way too many good looks. At some point, you got to draw the line in the sand. Be like, okay, who's crossing this line? If you're coming over here.
And that'll do it for now. The second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
No one's been one side of the fence so far for the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. We are seeing a tremendous game from Jimmy Butler.
Very tremendous game.
You just love it when the decision-making is as good as it was there in that first half. Didn't force anything.
Guys, I think here in the second half, though, they may want him to be a little more assertive. Start hunting more for his shot, even the tough one.
Here's Thomas. Bradley and filling out the perimeter. The big men are Sullinger and Olynyk, and it's Thomas in at the point guard position. That's the Boston 5. Bradley passes to Thomas. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Pulls it from the elbow. Got that one. The Bulls lead has been cut down to just 10 points with the bucket from Jared Sullinger.
And you know what? One of the few bright spots in this game for them today. He's kept his edge even though they've been trailing.
Butler gets the snap. Bulls moving the ball around. And it's Rose missing. Boston shooting from the field. 44%, not bad. There's the screen. Jumper off the screen. And it comes off the front of the rim.
And that was a difficult shot from mid-range simply because the defense was engaged.
Yeah, and I think the quickness of the closeout really threw him off. They're spraying him home from mid-range today, guys.
Finding the gaps in the defense and really just slicing and dicing them right now.
Derrick Rose has certainly piled up the awards for such a young player, starting with Rookie of the Year, the 111 first place votes to only 5 for the runner-up. We know about his MVP, and that just shines out so brightly for him.
And how about he and Michael Jordan, the only MVPs in Chicago Bulls history.
Thomas
dishes to Olynyk.
Thomas
a screen, and it will go. And the Bulls lead is cut down
to just 12 on the basket from Olynyk.
He has such a nice touch for a big man.
Yeah, and they've got to figure out a way to get a bigger body on him, because if they don't match up his size, then he's going to continue to work them over the rest of the game.
And it's Rose penetrating, and a strong finish with 2 hands.
And how about a little bit of showmanship there as he increases the lead?
Oh, I like that. That's got to be, though, a tough pill for the defense to swallow.
Well, he's a guy that you know can hurt you with his passing, and right there, he does some damage with his finishing, too. Good, just like soup. A little more ferocious, though.
Okay, Clark approves, everybody.
Yeah, but that's how you finish strong. Young fellas wearing the rim out.
And that's 6 straight points now, guys, coming on the inside.
Yeah, those are like body blows in boxing, starting to take it to him. Great effort. Yeah, enough scoring on the inside there. I think it's time for him to send a message to his team.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I guarantee you this talk centers around cutting down on all of those points coming in the paint. They've got to show more resistance there.
14 points. Come on, man.
Just
over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half.
Outside Thomas. He kicks it to Olynyk. Shot clock at 6. There's the 3. And with that, the Chicago lead is cut to just 11 points in the basket from Turner. Bulls have gotten 4 in their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break. Gasol attacking, and that one's good. Gasol's got 10 points.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed,